The silent storm, the vast emptiness of uncharted space shattered as reality itself tore open, spewing forth the sleek form of the HSS Judgment. The experimental warship's quantum drive cooled down with a dying whine, leaving Captain Alina Drake staring at an unfamiliar star field through the bridge's panoramic viewport. Her weathered features tightened as she realized this wasn't their intended destination. "Navigation Officer Patel, status report," she commanded, her voice carrying the weight of 20 years in Earth's defense force. The young officer's fingers danced across holographic displays, his dark eyes widening at the readings. "Captain, quantum triangulation is impossible. These stars don't match any known configurations in our database. We're well outside mapped space." Before Drake could respond, Tactical Officer Marcus Chen's voice cut through the tension. "Multiple contacts, massive energy signatures at bearing 47 and 213. They're huge, Captain, nothing like we've ever encountered." The bridge crew watched in stunned silence as the void before them lit up with weapons fire. Two alien fleets engaged in a dance of destruction, their ships dwarfing the Judgment. Energy beams that could vaporize small moons crisscrossed space, while strange geometric shapes performed impossible maneuvers. "Full tactical analysis," Drake ordered, her mind racing through options. "And get me engineering." The holographic form of Chief Engineer Rook materialized beside her chair, his artificial eyes glowing with concerned amber light. The android's expression remained neutral, but his voice carried urgency. "Captain, the quantum drive suffered severe stress during transit. We need at least 30 minutes before another jump is possible." Drake nodded grimly. "We may not have 30 seconds, battle stations." The Judgment's klaxons wailed as the crew rushed to their positions. Through the chaos, Communications Officer Yuki Tanaka's voice rose with alarm. "Captain, we're being hailed. Multiple frequencies, unknown protocols." "Wait, one's breaking through." A harsh, multi-toned voice filled the bridge, its words translated by the ship's AI. "Attention, unknown vessel. You have entered restricted space during a sanctioned conflict between the Krylonian Empire and the Mechanea Collective. Your presence violates the ancient accords. Prepare for immediate termination." Drake's response was cut short as the first salvos streaked toward the Judgment. "Evasive action, tactical analysis of their weapon systems. Engineering, divert power to shields. Let's show these aliens that humanity doesn't go down without a fight." The Judgment's revolutionary metamaterial hull absorbed the first hits, its adaptive shielding learning and adjusting. Officer Chen's fingers flew across his console. "Their weapons are based on principles we've never seen, Captain, but there's a pattern. Their targeting systems seem to rely on predictive algorithms. They're expecting us to move like their own ships." A slight smile crossed Drake's face. "Then let's show them something unpredictable. Helm, Pattern Echo 7, Tactical, prepare all Kingfisher missiles for wide dispersal. Let's give them a taste of human ingenuity." The Judgment moved like no alien vessel could, its human designers having long ago abandoned the constraints of traditional space combat doctrine. The ship corkscrewed through the battlefield, its movements appearing random and chaotic to the alien targeting systems. "Multiple ships breaking off from the main battle," Chen reported. "They're focusing on us now, reading energy buildup, Captain, if those hit us." "They won't," Drake assured him, her eyes fixed on the tactical display. "Launch Kingfishers, maximum spread, deploy ECM drones, let's fade into the chaos." The Judgment's missile bays opened, releasing clouds of sophisticated weaponry. But instead of conventional attacks, the Kingfisher missiles split apart, becoming thousands of autonomous drones. They filled space with false signatures, sensor ghosts, and electromagnetic chaos. The alien fleet's precise formations faltered as their targeting systems were overwhelmed. Several shots meant for the Judgment struck their own allies, causing confusion in their ranks. "New contact," Chen shouted. "Something big just dropped out of whatever they use for FTL. It's massive, Captain." A vessel that seemed to bend space around itself appeared at the edge of the battlefield. Its surface rippled like liquid metal, defying human understanding of physics. All other ships, even the warring aliens, seemed to pause as it arrived. A new transmission cut through all channels, its message clear yet carrying undertones that made the crew's skin crawl. The Watchers have taken notice. The parameters have shifted. The human variable was not predicted. Drake stood from her chair, her voice firm despite the impossible situation they faced. This is Captain Alina Drake of the HSS Judgment. We did not intend to violate your space or interfere in your conflicts. But if you force our hand, you will learn that humanity is not easily eliminated. The massive ship's response would forever change the course of galactic history. Intent is irrelevant. The arrival was foretold. The cycle begins anew. Choose your role carefully, children of Earth. The galaxy's fate now rests in unknowing hands. As the crew of the Judgment processed these cryptic words, more rifts began opening across the battlefield. The war that had raged for centuries was about to enter a new phase, and humanity had unwittingly become its catalyst, blood in the stars. The quantum wake of the Watcher's vessel still rippled through space as Captain Drake assessed their deteriorating situation. The HSS Judgment hung in the void between two hostile fleets, its presence having triggered something far beyond a simple border violation. Engineering, status of the quantum drive. Drake's voice remained steady despite the growing tension. Chief Engineer Rook's hologram flickered. 22 minutes to minimum safe power levels, Captain. The coolant systems are struggling with local spacetime distortions. A new alert blared through the bridge. Tactical Officer Chen's hands moved across his console with practiced precision. Multiple signatures breaking formation. The Krylonian fleet is advancing, 8 heavy cruisers. They're launching some kind of biomechanical fighters. Through the viewport, the crew watched as organic-looking craft emerged from the larger vessels, their surfaces writhing and shifting like living tissue. They moved with impossible grace, leaving trails of bioluminescent energy in their wake. Interesting, Rook commented, his artificial eyes analyzing the data. Their ships appear to be partially sentient. The biological components are integrated with advanced technology in a way we've never. Save the analysis for later, Drake interrupted. Tactical, prepare point defense grid. Officer Tanaka, any response to our transmissions? Only encrypted bursts between their ships, Captain, Yuki reported. But I'm detecting something else. A signal piggybacking on their communications. It's elegant, like it's trying to speak directly to our systems. The Krylonian fighters suddenly accelerated, their formation splitting into 3 prongs. Energy weapons blazed to life, filling space with streams of plasma that twisted like living things, seeking their prey. Evasive pattern Delta, Drake ordered. Deploy remaining ECM drones. Chen, target their lead vessels with kinetic penetrators. Let's see how their bioships handle good old-fashioned tungsten rounds. The Judgment's rail guns roared to life, launching hypervelocity projectiles that crossed the space between ships in milliseconds. The Krylonian fighters tried to evade, their organic hulls flexing and morphing, but physics was physics. 3 fighters erupted in sprays of metallic flesh and crystalline blood. Direct hits, Chen reported. But Captain, their debris is moving, reorganizing itself. Drake leaned forward in her chair. Elaborate. The destroyed fighters, their remains are combining, forming some kind of defense screen. They're using their own dead to shield their advance. The tactical display confirmed it. The glittering cloud of biomechanical debris had formed a lattice of shifting matter, absorbing the Judgment's subsequent shots while the remaining fighters pressed their attack. Multiple impacts, Patel called out as the ship shuddered. Shields at 60% and dropping. Whatever they're using, it's adapting to our defenses. Drake's mind raced through options. The Krylonians had centuries of experience fighting other advanced species. They'd never encountered human tactics before, but they were learning quickly. Rook, she called to her engineer, those bioships. What happens if we hit them with a focused EMP? The android's eyes flickered as he ran calculations. Unknown, Captain, but if they truly are partially organic, their neural networks might be susceptible to electrical overload. Helm, bring us about. Engineering, divert power from aft shields to the main capacitors. Tactical, prepare to... Captain, Tanaka's voice cut through the commands. The Mechania fleet is moving, there. They're attacking the Krylonians. True enough, the geometric ships of the Mechania Collective had begun advancing, their perfect formations unchanged as they launched salvos of antimatter torpedoes at the Krylonian cruisers. The biological fleet broke off their attack on the Judgment, forced to deal with their ancient enemies. But Drake knew better than to feel relief. They're not helping us, they're eliminating witnesses. Chen, analysis of Mechania weapons. Their technology is purely artificial, Captain. No biological components. Extremely advanced gravity manipulation, quantum-locked projectiles, and something else. Something that doesn't match any known physics. The bridge crew watched as Mechania weapons literally rewrote the laws of space-time around their targets. Krylonian bioships were compressed into singular points of infinite density, their screams cutting off as they vanished into artificial singularities. "This isn't a war," Drake muttered. "This is extinction-level combat. Each side is trying to erase the other from existence itself." A new alert sounded, this one from engineering. Rook's hologram showed actual concern, a rare expression for the android. "Captain, I'm detecting massive energy buildup from the Watcher's vessel. They're doing something to local space-time." The massive ship that had arrived earlier began to pulse with impossible energies. Reality itself seemed to bend around it as ancient mechanisms activated. Whatever was coming, it would reshape the battlefield entirely. "Quantum drive status?" Drake demanded. 15 minutes minimum, Rook replied. "But Captain, that's assuming space itself remains stable enough for quantum translation." Drake stood from her chair, her decision made. "All hands, battle stations. Tactical, arm the prototype weapons. If we're going to be part of this war, we do it on our terms." As she gave the order, the Watcher's vessel began to transform, its liquid metal surface flowering open like a geometric lotus. At its core, energies older than human civilization began to wake, and the true scale of the conflict the Judgment had stumbled into was about to be revealed. Echoes of the ancients. The battlefield fell silent as the Watcher's vessel completed its transformation. What had once been a ship now resembled a massive crystalline structure, its countless facets reflecting light that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. At its heart, streams of impossible energy formed patterns that hurt to look at, mathematics made manifest in ways human minds were never meant to comprehend. "Multiple quantum signatures," Chen reported, his voice barely above a whisper. "Whatever that structure is, it's affecting space-time across the entire sector. The Krylonians and Mechania, they're backing away." Captain Drake watched as both alien fleets retreated to what they presumably thought was a safe distance. The biological ships of the Krylonians pulsed with nervous energy, while the geometric perfection of the Mechania formation showed the first signs of uncertainty. "Officer Tanaka," Drake called, "what are you picking up from that structure?" The communications officer adjusted her instruments, face illuminated by shifting displays. "It's broadcasting, Captain, not just radio or quantum signals, but something deeper, like it's transmitting through the fabric of space itself. The universal translators are struggling, but I think it's a warning, or maybe a prophecy." Before Drake could respond, the android engineer's hologram materialized with urgent news. "Captain, the quantum drive is showing unusual readings. The structure isn't just affecting local space, it's resonating with something in our engine core." "Explain," Drake demanded, though part of her already suspected the truth. "Our quantum drive technology," Rook continued, his artificial eyes gleaming, "it shares certain principles with that structure. Not identical, but related. As if whoever designed our drive was working from fragmentary knowledge of something far more advanced." The implications hit Drake like a physical blow. Humanity's greatest technological leap, the quantum drive that had given them the stars, might not have been entirely their own achievement. A new voice cut through their revelation, broadcasting on all frequencies. It carried the weight of eons, each word seeming to echo through time itself. "The seed we planted has grown. The children have found their way home. What seed? Drake demanded, standing from her chair. What do you mean? Your quantum science, the voice replied, was a test. A fragment of ancient knowledge hidden in the collective unconscious of your species. We have waited eons to see which children of the galaxy would unlock its secrets first. Humanity has proven unexpected. The structure's energy patterns shifted, and suddenly the judgment's displays filled with information, star charts, technical diagrams, historical records. The true history of the galaxy began to unfold before them. Multiple contacts, Chen shouted. The Krylonians and Mechania, they're powering up weapons. Drake understood their fear. If what the Watchers implied was true, humanity's achievement with the quantum drive represented a threat to the established order. Both ancient civilizations would rather destroy the judgment than allow Earth to claim this legacy. Engineering status of our prototype weapons? Drake asked, her mind racing through options. The resonance cascade device is charged, Rook reported. But Captain, using it this close to the structure could have unpredictable effects. The Krylonian bioships were already launching their first wave of attacks, while the Mechania vessels began generating their reality-warping fields. The judgment was caught between them, with the mysterious structure of the Watchers looming behind. Captain, Tanaka called out, I'm detecting new signals, quantum communications, but they're coming from Earth direction, similar signatures to our drive. Drake's eyes widened. Other ships, how many? 3, no, 5 signatures. They're using our quantum wake to track us. Earth must have launched a rescue mission when we disappeared. Hope mixed with horror in Drake's chest. More human ships meant a better chance of survival, but they'd be jumping right into a war zone, facing weapons that could erase matter from existence. Time to their arrival, she demanded. 4 minutes at current quantum translation speeds, Rook calculated. But Captain, the structure's influence is affecting local spacetime. They could arrive anywhere within a 1,000-kilometer sphere. Drake made her decision. Tactical, target the Krylonian flagship with the resonance cascade. Engineering, divert all power to forward shields. Communications, broadcast on all frequencies. Let's show these ancient powers that humanity isn't just some lab experiment. The Judgment's experimental weapon powered up, drawing energy from the same quantum principles that drove their faster-than-light travel. As it charged, the Watcher's structure pulsed in response, its patterns shifting to match the ship's energy signature. The cycle nears completion, the ancient voice declared. Now witness the true purpose of your creation. Reality itself seemed to hold its breath as multiple quantum events prepared to collide. The arrival of Earth's rescue fleet, the activation of the Judgment's prototype weapon, the reality-warping powers of the Mechania, the adaptive biological weapons of the Krylonians, and whatever vast energies the Watchers had awakened in their crystalline structure. All were about to intersect in a single moment that would reshape the galaxy forever. Captain Eleanor Drake stood on her bridge, watching it all unfold, knowing that humanity's next actions would determine not just their own fate, but the course of cosmic history. The pieces were in place. The ancient game was about to enter its final phase, the price of defiance. Space itself shuddered as 5 quantum rifts tore open around the battlefield. The Earth rescue fleet emerged into chaos. The destroyers Hyperion, Artemis, and Orion, flanked by the cruisers Titan and Atlas. Their arrival scattered the carefully maintained formations of both alien fleets, their quantum wakes disrupting the delicate balance of energies. All Earth vessels, this is Captain Drake, she broadcast immediately. Be advised, we are dealing with hostile advanced civilizations and an unknown entity of immense power. Defensive formation Delta, concentrate fire on the biological ships. The human fleet responded with practiced precision, their ships moving into a spherical formation around the Judgment. They had trained for combat scenarios, but nothing could have prepared them for this reality. Captain, Chen called out, the Mechania are redirecting their weapon systems. They're targeting the Watcher's structure. Through the viewport, Drake watched as the geometric ships of the Mechania Collective unleashed their full arsenal. Reality-warping beams and quantum-locked projectiles streaked toward the crystalline construct, only to be absorbed into its faceted surface. The structure's response was immediate and devastating. Waves of pure probability cascaded outward, catching two Mechania vessels in their path. The ships didn't explode or disintegrate, they simply ceased to have ever existed. Their quantum signatures retroactively erased from space-time itself. "By all the stars," Rook's hologram whispered, his artificial mind struggling to process the implications. "They're not just fighting with advanced technology, they're weaponizing causality itself." The Krylonian bioships seized this moment to launch their counterattack, their living hulls adapting and evolving in real time to match the threats they faced. But humanity's arrival had changed the equation. The Earth ship's weapons might have been less advanced, but they were unpredictable, operating on principles neither ancient civilization had encountered. "Multiple hits on Krylonian vessels," reported Captain Wei from the Hyperion. "Their biological armor adapts quickly, but good old-fashioned kinetic rounds still do the job. Concentrated fire seems to overwhelm their regenerative capabilities." Drake nodded, but her attention was drawn to the Watcher's structure. Its energy patterns had shifted again, forming new configurations that seemed to reach out toward the human ship specifically. "Captain," Tanaka's voice carried urgent revelation. "I've decoded more of their transmission. The Watchers, they're not just observers, they're architects. They've been guiding species toward specific technological developments, testing different approaches to quantum manipulation." "The Krylonians went the biological route," Rook added, his processors humming as he connected the dots. "The Mechania chose pure technology, but humanity, we found a middle path. We developed quantum technology that mimics natural processes without trying to control them completely." The battle. Dawn of a new era. The crystallized spacetime surrounding the human fleet shimmered with possibilities. Every facet reflected a different potential future, each surface holding the promise of a different path humanity might take. Captain Drake stood on the Judgment's bridge, watching as reality itself waited for their next move. "Status of the fleet?" she asked, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. "All ships maintaining position," Chen reported. "The Hyperion and Artemis are reporting quantum drive fluctuations, but their hulls are stable. The crystallization effect appears to be studying us." Through the viewport, they could see the remnants of the Krylonian and Mechania fleets retreating to safe distances. Their mighty civilizations, which had dominated this sector for millennia, had been forced to acknowledge a new power, not through superior technology or biological evolution, but through humanity's unique approach to understanding the universe. "Captain," Rook's hologram flickered with unusual patterns, "I'm detecting changes in the quantum substrate of local space. The Watcher's structure isn't just transforming our surroundings, it's rewriting the fundamental laws that govern this region of space." The massive crystalline structure that had emerged from the Watcher's vessel pulsed with ancient energies. Its surface now reflected not just light, but time itself, showing echoes of past events and glimpses of possible futures. "The experiment is concluded," the Watcher's voice resonated through every ship, every mind. "For eons, we have guided the evolution of spacefaring species, seeking those who could grasp the true nature of reality. The Krylonians chose the experiment is concluded." The Watcher's voice resonated through every ship, every mind. "For eons, we have guided the evolution of spacefaring species, seeking those who could grasp the true nature of reality. The Krylonians chose biological transcendence, merging with their technology through organic evolution. The Mechania sought perfection through pure logic and artificial advancement. But humanity found balance." Officer Tanaka's console suddenly lit up with new data streams. "Captain, the structure is transmitting everything. The complete history of their experiments, the true nature of quantum physics, the underlying patterns of the universe itself." "Not just transmitting," Rook corrected, his artificial eyes wide with understanding. "Teaching. They're showing us how to access the quantum layer of reality without trying to control it completely. The middle path we stumbled upon, it wasn't an accident. It was the solution they've been seeking all along." The crystallized space around the fleet began to shift, forming corridors of pure possibility. Through them, they could see Earth, but not just their Earth, countless versions of their homeworld, each representing a different potential future. The gift we offer is not power, the Watchers continued, but understanding. The Krylonians sought to bend reality through life itself. The Mechanae attempted to impose order through absolute control. But you, children of Earth, learned to work with the quantum nature of existence, to guide rather than dominate. Captain Drake stepped forward, her mind racing with the implications. You're saying our quantum drive technology was the first step, the voice confirmed. Your species created a method of faster-than-light travel that worked with the natural quantum fluctuations of space-time, rather than forcing reality to bend to your will. This approach, this wisdom, is what the galaxy has needed for millennia. The structure's energy patterns suddenly shifted, and the crystallized space began to reshape itself. The human fleet found themselves at the center of a vast network of quantum corridors, a new form of space travel that hadn't existed moments before. By proving your worth in battle, the Watchers explained, you have earned the right to guide the galaxy's next evolution. The quantum network we have created will allow species to travel and communicate in ways the Krylonians and Mechanae never imagined. But it requires cooperation, understanding, and respect for the natural order, qualities your approach to quantum physics has demonstrated. And if we refuse this responsibility? Drake asked, though she already knew the answer. There is no refusing the path you have already chosen. Your species' understanding of quantum mechanics has already begun to reshape reality. The only choice now is how to proceed, with wisdom or with fear. The crystalline structure began to pulse with new energy, its surface showing images of possible futures. Peaceful cooperation between species, the spread of quantum technology that worked with nature rather than against it, the healing of wounds in spacetime left by centuries of destructive warfare. Multiple contacts, Chen called out. Ships dropping out of quantum space all around us, Krylonian Mechanae, and others we've never seen before. They're waiting. Indeed, representatives from dozens of species had arrived, their ships holding position around the human fleet. The Watchers had called them all to witness this moment of transformation. The age of conflict ends, the Watchers declared. The age of understanding begins. You will guide them, children of Earth, not through force or dominance, but through example. Show them the middle path. Show them how to work with the quantum nature of reality rather than against it. Captain Eleanor Drake looked out at the assembled fleet of alien ships, at the crystalline structure that had reshaped their understanding of the universe, and at her own crew, humans who had faced impossible odds and emerged not as conquerors, but as teachers. Send word to Earth, she ordered Tanaka. Tell them everything has changed, and we're going to need their help to build something new. The quantum corridors pulsed with possibility as the human fleet prepared to lead the galaxy into a new era. They had arrived as accidental intruders in an ancient war, but they would depart as architects of a future none had imagined possible. The price of their defiance had been high, but the reward, the chance to reshape the galaxy through understanding rather than force, was beyond measure. As the Judgment prepared to make its first journey through the new quantum network, Captain Drake couldn't help but smile. Humanity had found its place among the stars not through conquest or technological superiority, but through their unique ability to find balance between the extremes. The war was over. The real adventure was just beginning.